Hey everybody, this video is my 23rd birthday video, and throughout it I go and list 23 lessons that I've learned in 23 years. There's a reason why they are called lessons, because I failed in that aspect of my life and I had to learn how to not fail again in a way. And so really that's what this video is about, is sharing honestly my failures and what I've learned from them. And so there are some sensitive topics in this, and I don't want to seem that I just brushed over them as if they meant nothing, because every single one of them, there is a huge story behind them. Some of them I go into detail with, and then some of them I don't, but it doesn't make it any less serious. And another thing to mention is that some of them might seem like, oh, that's kind of the same, but it relates to a certain season in different parts of my life, and that is why David, okay, my brother is being funny, but that's why it may seem kind of interesting, or maybe could be said to be contradicting, but it's really not. That is really the whole purpose behind this video, is for me to actually look back on it too in a couple of years and be like, whoa, I don't know. I just thought it'd be a really fun video to watch, and there's some fun little segments in it. But I hope you enjoy it. I hope that whoever finds this video is encouraged by it, and it's a very vulnerable video, to be quite frank, because I very much share my flaws in a way, and it's obviously how you take it. But anyway, that is the whole gist of this video.
Hello, good morning. It's April 29th, which also happens to be the day I was born. I danced around the sun for another year. I wanted to film today because I wanted to look back on this birthday. It's April 29th, 2020. We are in a world pandemic. We are in an economic recession. We are in a nationwide lockdown, except some states are opening back up, but Washington hasn't. Throughout this day, I want to mention 23 things that I'm thankful for, or 23 lessons that I learned in... Okay, again. I want to say 23 things that I've learned in 23 years. And the first one, I want to start off with the power of gratitude and how important it is to practice gratitude in your every single day life, especially in the morning when you wake up. Another lesson that I've learned in the past couple of years, actually, recent years, is that this life isn't just about me. And I know that's a very narcissistic way to say something, but at the end of last year I was reflecting and I really thought about it, and it's important to know who and what I'm living my life for. And this life, unfortunately, as much as I wish it was about me, it's not. It's about the unity it's about all of us and what we do together to make a change and a difference, to make this world a better, healthier, kinder, loving place. So when we serve and unite together, there's a stronger force and more can happen. But then a third lesson that I've learned is that it's important to take care of yourself. It's important to heal. It's important to reflect. It's important to pray. It's important to meditate. It's really important to take care of what happens in here, because you're there for the rest of your life. That's the one place that you'll always be. Those are very important things that I carry with myself every single day. So 20 more to go. Alright, I think I'm gonna get up. Okay, hey, so I just showered and put on some overalls. So as I do my makeup, I wanted to share another lesson. So this is lesson number 4. And that is, one is to be kind to everyone.
even recently I was reminded of how important it is to be kind to everybody you come across, because you never know what the future holds. And then another one that I learned, so this is the 5th lesson that I learned in 23 years, it is one that really slapped me in the face, and that is, don't judge a book by its cover. And I know people say that all the time, and for some weird reason, I don't know why I didn't abide by that saying and why I didn't really listen to it, because it didn't put me in a bad position, but it made me feel really guilty, because I would judge people, or not people, there are a very small handful of individuals who I was afraid to let into my life, and I basically just made the generalization that on them, and overgeneralization, and categorizing them, and they actually turned out to be some of my greatest friends now. So I'm really ashamed to admit that I wasn't very kind from the beginning to them, but yet somehow they stuck around and were actually really, really good friends. So I think it's important to give people a chance and to hear them out, and to not automatically let a past experience, and I think that's what I did, is I let a past experience dictate the way that I saw a person, because it may have reminded me of someone from my past who hurt me. So yeah, there's that. As I was doing my makeup, I remembered one that kind of goes hand in hand with the being kind to everyone. I've had people tell me, Virginia, you're too kind. Virginia, you're too nice. Virginia, you let people walk all over you. Not really though, just sometimes. But yeah, I have let people walk all over me, and I have been too nice sometimes. But in my mind, for me, I would rather be known as being too kind to you, and then the other person treating me poorly, because that reflects a lot on who they are, right? And not on and it reflects who I am as a person too, that no matter how bad a person might be, I will still treat them with kindness and respect and love. And I think that it's important to show those acts of kindness and to show those acts of respect, because people can change. And I know people say, oh, people can't, but like, we evolve with time. People can become better if they choose to, but it's all in their own, it's all within themselves and in their own mind. It's if they want to. You can't change nobody, that is a fact, but they can change. And maybe one day in the future, they'll reflect back and be like, wow, Virginia was really nice to me, and I need to pay it forward. So I'd rather be known as someone for being too nice than being someone who hurt people. So, and I mean, I'm sure I've hurt people. I'm not saying that I'm like the best person ever. I've had my fair share of being disrespectful. I've had my fair share of saying unkind things and not being very respectful always. But I think once I changed my mindset and thought about it as, well, I'd rather just be kind through it all and to whomever, then that just means so much more in the long run. My mom and I are going on a little car ride, even though I'm dressed, you know, a little bit nicer. We're going on a car ride to a random place because everything's closed. But we're gonna have fun. Yeah. All right, we went to the grocery store and now we're home, and I'm gonna make a couple things. An update. Oh, I need to turn off the music. Hold on. My mom was rushing to come home because my bestie Angelina stopped by and brought some gifts, and they're so sweet and thoughtful. These flowers are from her and they're so beautiful. Some mango, she bought me a juice, but I put it in the fridge, and then she brought me a cookie from Met Market. Y'all, so good. This is so good. And then some masks, and then she brought me a card, these little gummies, a bath bomb, matcha, she knows I love matcha, and our favorite coffee from Santo. And then my best friend Emily gave me this Save the World book. She brought it over yesterday, and she knows me. Y'all know me. And then she also got me this really beautiful card that says happy birthday to my favorite hot tea. I love her. And then my amazing friend Taylor sent me this from Australia, and it's just these little honeys and this little koala and this card from the Gold Coast, which this beach was 10 minutes away from where she was studying abroad, and then a beautiful little card. And I'm just feeling very grateful. So I guess that's another lesson to be learned that I've learned in the past 23 years, is that it is important to surround yourself with people who encourage you, who support you, who uplift you, and never make you feel ashamed of who you are. So I'm really grateful for the people, like way grateful for the people in my life. Okay, so right now I'm going to make some cardamom buns because I was supposed to be in, well, where was I supposed to be? I was supposed to be in Copenhagen for my birthday, but we're not. We're with family, and that's just as well. Just as good, I guess. But I'm gonna show y'all, Kristen Gloria, this YouTuber I follow, or I don't really follow her that much, but she always went to Copenhagen because her sister lives there, and they always talk about these buns, and so I really want to try it, but can't be there. So this is what they look like. I'm using the recipe that she used too, so I'm gonna make those bad boys. I've never made any kind of bread dough in my life before, so this is a good place to start. All right, stay tuned. So I'm cutting the cardamom, or no, I'm not cutting, but I'm taking out the seeds from the pods. And I wanted to share another thing that I have learned in the 23 years of life, and that is to never take anything for granted. Even my dad was just sharing a story of when they were in Moldova and how, like, they didn't have a lot, you know? And so it's really just being grateful for every little thing that we're blessed with, even when it's easy to lose sight of it and think about what we could have versus being grateful for what we have. And I think it's important to always be as happy as you possibly can with what you have now, because if you're not happy with what you have right now, what's gonna happen when you have more? Happiness isn't just gonna suddenly find you. I guess this goes into another lesson, is that the one thing that we're all looking for is happiness, and to be happy and have a state of happiness. And I think it's important to be happy with what you have already, because when more comes your way, it'll be a whole other blessing at that point. You guys, it just proved, and it smells so good. I feel like Kristen Gloria right now. Is that even her name? Kristen Johns. But here it is, and I guess you just, oh, mine isn't it? Ooh, I don't think it's supposed to have a little foot crack. Whatever. Okay, I don't know what number per lesson this is, but this one, I feel like all of these are so important, but they're honestly little things that I live my life by. And one of them is the importance of perspective. The way that we choose to see something, whether it's a good situation or a bad situation, our perspective definitely will dictate the way that we feel about it, obviously. So for me, it's so important that when bad things happen, I have a good perspective on it and try to be optimistic and positive through it, because it's so easy to be negative, but it's harder to be more positive. And so the more I practice positivity in a bad situation, the more I'm able to tackle on challenging situations, and I'm able to honestly see the light in life. And so I'm grateful that I learned that. Another lesson that I learned is how important sisterhood is. I know I talked about community, but especially sisterhood, and how important it is for women to help women. And I'm not trying to be a feminist or anything. It's really just a matter of supporting each other's dreams and uplifting one another and supporting one another and encouraging one another, because we already live in such a world where it's challenging and we have our own set of issues that we're dealing with, and to have people tear each other down that only makes it so much worse. That is something that was a huge lesson learned, because I know that I mean, I went to school for business, and how important it was for me to encourage my girlfriends and stuff, and even seeing my girlfriends create new passions and want to start new businesses, and just different hobbies. It's important that you're supporting them. Another lesson is to validate people's feelings and not to try and tell someone how they're feeling, because I think so often, even myself, I just want to be heard. And it's not that I need your advice, like unsolicited advice. Nobody really enjoys it. Being genuine, that's another one. And then time. Another lesson is how important and valuable time is. Who am I giving my time to? How much time am I giving it to them? How much energy am I giving to things and people? Another lesson is the labels, designers, people in fashion I respect. I mean, I don't have a problem with fashion. I love fashion. And I don't have a problem with designers. But when you put your identity in those designers, that's when it becomes toxic. And that's when you should start taking a step back and realizing that, oh, maybe I shouldn't invest so much time and energy into something like this, because I know that it won't lead me down the right direction or the right path. Another lesson, I'm just like listing them all off right now, but another lesson would include being faithful through the trials, being faithful through the hard times when things are unsure and things just don't seem to go as planned, is being faithful even through those moments, because those are the moments where we test our faith and we test, oh man, it's gonna die. Okay. Yeah, so being faithful. They look so beautiful. Are you kidding me? Look at them. Hey guys, I just wanted to say hi from the Haven in Copenhagen. I went to Juno Bakery and got some cardamom buns. So delicious. The seawater smells so good here. Okay, I gotta go. There's tourists everywhere. Okay, bye. So I just finished those cardamom buns. Just came back from Copenhagen. I had so much fun. That was just really the highlight of my birthday. I had so much fun seeing the Haven, if that's even how you pronounce it. Truly, what an experience. Those cardamom buns, yummy. I'll link the recipe below. Some other lessons that I learned are those of patience. Patience is virtue. Being patient with people, being patient with ourselves, being patient with the journey of life and with the process of life. Another lesson that I learned is to be aware of what's going on in the world and the oppressions and injustices that people face. It does bring, I mean, there's that saying that says ignorance is bliss, and it's true. The less you know about something, especially in terms of like the planet, you feel so ignorant to it, so it doesn't bother you. But then once you find out what actually happens because of the repercussions that come with our decisions that we make in terms of not taking care of the planet, they're huge. And so sometimes you're like, I wish I just didn't know that, you know? But even like, yeah, people who are oppressed, people of the minority, it's, especially as a white person, it is so important for me to be aware of those injustices and aware of my privilege. Another lesson that I learned is to very much appreciate life for what it is and not constantly wish, and I guess I kind of already said this one, but not to be so fixed on what's going to happen in the future, but enjoy the now, because the now is given. The future isn't guaranteed. Another lesson, a lot of us right now, especially during this pandemic, are realizing that life doesn't go according to our own plan, and things can happen when we least expect them, and they happen so quickly too. And to be grateful, like I said, every single day. Another lesson, loving yourself even when it's really hard. That's really important. Something my doctor actually told me this. She's like, Virginia, comparison is the thief of joy. And that was so profound. And I was like, whoa, you're right. You're right. Another thing is allow for people to heal. Just as much as it's important for us to heal, we have to allow others to heal too, because we have no idea what people are going going through in their life unless they share that with us. And that's a wrap on my 23 lessons that I learned in 23 years. So now I'm gonna go live my 23rd year of life with grace, patience, awareness, gratitude, love, kindness, and I'm gonna try to live it the best that I can. And I pray that although we're in a very interesting situation right now, that this year does reveal a whole lot more lessons in terms of not that I fail necessarily, but that I can learn more from people and that we can collectively share what we learn. So yeah, spread, like always, everybody, spread peace and love. Spread peace and love, and let's be kind and loving and gracious towards one another. Yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.